Thank you for joining me for Yoga with Sean D. This twisting flow is designed to recharge and refresh every part of your body, spirit, and mind. In the description, you will find a link to my recommended playlist for this flow via my Spotify account. Let's begin. Please find a comfortable seated position. Soften your face, your gaze, maybe even close your eyes. Indian mystic, guru, and spiritual teacher Osho is quoted as saying, "Do not move the way fear makes you move. Move the way love makes you move. Move the way joy makes you move." Think about letting go of fear with every exhale. Fear of judgment, fear of expectation, fear of uncertainty. And with every inhale, let in love, let in joy. On an inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, gazing toward your fingertips. On your exhale, twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist. Repeat 2 more times, working to use your entire inhale to stretch your arms high overhead. Your entire exhale to twist. Inhale, and on your next exhale, bring palms together, drawing thumbs together at heart center. Set your intention for your time on your mat today. Let go of fear. Let in love. Let in joy. When you're ready, find hands and knees. Stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Begin to move through cat-cow. Take an inhale and cat pose on your exhale, pressing the floor away from you. Inhale to lengthen your spine, lifting your chin and your tail. Continue like this for several more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. You can begin to find more movement as your breath deepens, awakening your entire torso. Moving in circles, slowly in one direction, and always back around in the opposite direction. When you're ready, take your movement into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Continue to move for several more breaths, gently rocking your head side to side. Open and close your mouth to soften your jaw. Bend your knees, pedal your feet. Roll up to your toes and back to your heels. Then find stillness in your body. And just allow your breath to move deeply, opening, stretching, awakening. On an inhale, roll forward into plank pose. On an exhale, lower all the way down to your belly, keeping your shoulders lifted and elbows hugging into your ribs. Untuck your toes and slide your forearms up to your mat for Sphinx pose. Work to stack your shoulders over your elbows, ground your hip and pubic bones, and all 10 toenails to your mat. Lengthen your spine as you stretch your heart forward. Roll your shoulders back and energize your elbows toward your heels. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, and on an exhale, slide down to your forehead, stretching your arms out in front of you. Thread your right arm under your left, and as you roll onto your back, bend your left knee and stretch your left arm to the right, coming into a gentle spinal twist. If you'd like, you can also grab your right foot with your left hand for a quadricep stretch. You can also extend your left leg long and reach your right hand toward your left foot. Inhale. Exhale. When you're ready, use an exhale to roll back to your belly, forehead to your mouth, arms outstretched. Stay for several breaths, feeling energy pulse along each side of your body. When you're ready, left arm threads under your right, right knee bends, right arm extends to the left. You can stay here or grab your foot, extend your leg, and gaze over your shoulder. Inhale. Exhale. Stay for several breaths until both sides feel even. Roll back to your belly when you're ready. Slide hands under your shoulders. Press your hips to your heels for child's pose, Balasana. Allow your forehead to soften to your mat and stretch your arms long. Press down into your palms. Stretch all 10 fingers wide. Inhale. Exhale. After several breaths, press back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Use an inhale to rise up onto your toes. Bend your knees, and at the end of your exhale, look forward and move to the top of your mat. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Lengthen your spine on an inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale and fold. Repeat 2 more times, moving with the flow of your breath. After your third exhale, stay in Uttanasana for several more breaths. If you'd like, you can grab opposite elbows and gently rock side to side. Let your head be heavy, your face soft, your neck long. At the end of an exhale, begin to roll to standing slowly, stacking vertebrae on vertebrae. Lift your head last, and on an inhale, sweep your arms to the sky, gazing toward your fingertips. Exhale, draw palms together, thumbs at heart center. Inhale and sweep your arms overhead, and then on your exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, and then on your exhale, step your right foot back into a lunge, dropping your right knee to your mat. On an inhale, sweep your arms overhead into Anjaneyasana. Exhale and sweep your arms back down. 3 rounds. Inhale, exhale. Planting your hands on your third exhale, and on an inhale, stretch your left arm up to the sky and twist. Exhaling to drop both hands back to the floor. Repeating for 3 rounds. Inhale, exhale. On your third exhale, turn your gaze and your left fingertips to the back of your mat. Maybe floating your back toes up away from the floor and grabbing a hold of the outer edge of your foot. Kick your foot into your hand, roll your shoulders back and down, and breathe. On an exhale, float your hands to the floor, rock your hips back, and begin to straighten into your left leg. Ardha Hanumanasana. Lengthen your spine on an inhale. Fold on an exhale. When you're ready, rock back into your lunge, bending your right knee, and step back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Rock forward into your plank pose on an inhale and lower down to your belly on your exhale. Cobra pose, Bhujangasana on your inhale, reaching your heart forward, curling your heart up away from your mat, and then on your exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Stretch your right leg back behind you, bend your right knee, and stack your right hip on top of your left, pressing your right heel to the left side. Inhale, and on an exhale, draw your right knee to your nose, floating your right foot in between your hands, and soften your left knee to your mat, repeating the same sequence on this side. Sweep your arms to the sky on an inhale, and float them back to your sides on your exhale for 3 rounds. Inhale, exhale. On your third exhale, plant your left hand. Inhale and reach your right arm to the sky, twisting over your right shoulder. Exhale, both hands back down to the floor. Repeat for 3 rounds. Inhale. And on your third exhale, hold in your twist. Reach your right fingertips for the back of your mat, gazing towards the back of your mat. Possibly floating your back toes up away from the floor, reaching for the outer edges of your foot. Dropping your head back, rolling your shoulders back, freeing up your front body. Inhale, and on an exhale, float your hands to the floor, rock your hips back and straighten into your right leg. Reach your heart forward on an inhale. Fold deeper on an exhale. Rock back into your low lunge on an inhale and step forward into forward fold on your exhale. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Fold on your exhale. Rise all the way up to standing on your inhale, touching palms together, and on your exhale, right back down into your fold. Inhale and stretch your spine long. Fold on your exhale, this time stepping your left foot back and keeping your left knee lifted from your mat. Sweep your arms to the sky on your inhale. Twist over your right shoulder on your exhale. Stretching arms long for 2 more rounds. Inhale, lengthen into your crescent lunge. Exhale and gaze towards your back fingertips. 1 more round like this. Inhale. Twist on your exhale and pause. Turn your gaze toward your back fingertips. Inhale and reverse your revolved warrior. Exhale and float your hands to the floor. Keeping your back heel lifted, straighten into your right leg and fold over your right leg, lengthening your heart forward on an inhale. Just like in Ardha Hanumanasana, fold over your right leg on your exhale. When you're ready, bend into your right knee and step back into your downward facing dog. Rock forward into plank pose on an inhale and lower down on your exhale. Upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, Adho Mukha Svanasana on your exhale. Stretch your left leg back behind you and then bend your left knee. Stack your left hip on top of your right, pressing your left heel to the right side. Inhale here, and on an exhale, draw your knee in towards your nose, floating your left foot in between your hands. Keep your right knee lifted as you sweep your arms up for crescent lunge. Exhale and twist over your left shoulder, stretching arms the entire length of your mat. Inhale and twist on your exhale. 1 more round like that. Inhale and stretch. Exhale and twist, pausing here. Turn your gaze toward your back hands. Flip your front palm up towards the sky and reverse on an inhale. Sweep your hands to the floor on an exhale. Pop that back foot in a little bit closer if that helps you to lengthen your front leg, and then straighten left leg. Fold. Inhale. Exhale. Step to the top of your mat when you're ready. Lengthen your spine on an inhale. Fold on your exhale. Bring your hands to your hips, squeeze your elbows towards each other, and come all the way up to standing. And then keep that as you sweep your arms to the sky. Namaste, thumbs at heart center on your exhale. Come to the top of your mat. Shift your weight into one foot and bring the other foot into tree pose, Vrksasana. Press your foot into your standing leg as you stretch your knee out to the side. Thumbs can stay at heart center. You can extend your arms up overhead, challenging your balance, maybe by gazing up toward your fingertips. Inhale. Exhale and float thumbs to heart center as you step wide into a Malasana variation, Yogi Squat. Pelvic floor is lifted, belly button hugs up and back to your spine, engaging your bandhas. Heart lifts to your thumbs to lengthen your spine. Inhale. Exhale. Press down into your feet and lift all the way back up to standing for your second round of tree pose, shifting your weight into the opposite foot. Pressing your foot into your standing leg and stretching your knee out to the side to open into your hips and inner thigh. Find your balance on this side, challenging yourself within your own wisdom. Inhale. Exhale. When you're ready, bring palms together back at heart center. Step wide for your second round of Malasana variation. Or, if you want to practice Bakasana, crow pose, and arm balance, you're going to take the same principles. Hug your legs into your arm bones. Engage Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha. But instead of pressing palms together, hands press into the floor. Maybe toes float up away from the floor. Shooting legs back into your chaturanga or stepping back to downward facing dog when you're ready. Rise up onto your toes. On an inhale, look forward, and at the end of your exhale, move forward. Lengthening your spine on an inhale, folding on an exhale. Chair pose on an inhale. Drop your hips back. Right hand to your right hip as you stretch your left arm up and over. Take your left elbow to your right thigh and twist over your right shoulder, pressing palms together at heart center. When you're ready, look down to the floor and forward fold. Lengthen your spine on an inhale, and on an exhale, step your left foot back for Warrior One, Virabhadrasana 1. Cactus arms moving as you sweep your arms up and back, bend your elbows and roll your shoulders back on your exhale. 3 rounds. And then just like in your chair pose, right hand to your right hip, stretch your left arm up and over. Moving into that space to take your elbow to your right thigh. Press palms together at heart center. Lengthen from back heel to the crown of your head on your inhale and twist deeper on your exhale. When you're ready, look down to the floor, plant your hands and straighten your right leg, keeping both heels grounded. Stretch your spine long on an inhale. Fold on an exhale. Bend your knee. Lift up into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Stretch your right hand forward and reverse your warrior on an inhale. And then float hands to the floor on an exhale, stepping forward back into your forward fold. Flat back on your inhale. Chair pose on an exhale. Left hand to your left hip as you repeat this sequence. Take your right elbow to your left thigh, press palms together, and lift your heart to your thumb. Inhale, and on an exhale, look down to the floor as you straighten your legs, flatten your back on your inhale. Fold as you step your right foot back for Warrior One, back heel grounded, back leg straight. As you move your cactus arms, bending your elbows on your exhale as you roll your shoulders back and stretching your arms to the sky on your inhale. After 3 rounds, bring your left hand to your left hip and stretch your right arm up and over. Taking your right elbow to your left thigh to twist. Palms together, hands at heart center as you lift your heart to your thumb. Lengthen from your back heel to the crown of your head on your inhale. Twist deeper on your exhale. When you feel even on this side, look down to the floor. Plant your hands and straighten into your left leg. Both heels stay grounded for your Parsvottanasana variation. Ground into your feet and lift up with the strength of your core into your warrior two and reverse on your inhale. Float your hands to the floor on your exhale. Step back to downward facing dog. Rolling forward into plank pose on your inhale. Chaturanga or low plank on your exhale. Cobra or upward facing dog on your inhale. Downward facing dog on your exhale. Move forward to the top of your mat for forward fold. Chair pose when you're ready. Repeating your twist on this side, right hand to your right hip as you stretch your left arm up and over. Take your left elbow to your right thigh, this time palms together at heart center, or stretch arms, fingertips floor to ceiling. When you're ready to come back to your forward fold, draw your palms together at heart center. Inhale to stretch, exhale to fold as you stretch your left leg back. Begin to peel your left hip on top of your right and open to the side for half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Lift the outer seam of your back leg as you stretch top fingertips towards the ceiling and lengthen from your back heel to the crown of your head. Soften your knees as you step back into your side angle, Parsvottanasana. Turning your top palm to the front of your mat and stretching your arm alongside your ear. Roll your right rib cage up towards the ceiling as you gaze up towards the sky. Reverse your warrior, lifting your right arm up and back to stretch your right side body. Float your hands to the floor on an exhale, stepping forward into forward fold. Inhale, exhale. Chair pose on your inhale, repeating this sequence on the other side. Left hand to your left hip. Side bend with your right arm. Take your right elbow to your left thigh and twist. Palms can stay together at heart center, or you can stretch arms long, fingertips floor to ceiling. Inhale, exhale, palms together. Look down to the floor and straighten your legs. When you're ready, switch your right leg back behind you. Half moon on the other side. Peel your right hip open on top of your left, finding balance. Gazing down towards the floor straight ahead of you. Draw your shoulder blades together on your back and stretch floor to ceiling with your fingertips. Soften your knees as you step back for side angle, Parsvottanasana. Turn your top palm to the front of your mat and stretch your arm alongside your ear. Gazing up towards the ceiling as you roll your left rib cage high. Press down into your feet as you reverse your warrior, lifting your left arm up and back. Exhale as you float your hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. Inhale and rock forward into plank pose. Chaturanga on your exhale. Cobra or upward facing dog on your inhale. Downward facing dog on your exhale. Roll up onto your toes on an inhale, and as you exhale, float your knees to your mat. Balasana, child's pose. You can stay here for the next several breaths, or you can work towards an inversion of your choice. If you're new to inversions, dolphin pose is a good place to start, dropping your forearms to your mat, maybe clasping fingers, or spreading arms wide, stacking shoulders over elbows, hips over shoulders, and walking your toes in towards your face. Maybe you lift and lower your legs with your breath, inhaling to lengthen your leg high, exhaling to lower it down to the floor. Maybe catching some air as you lift up, preparing for a forearm balance. Another option is headstand or Shirshasana. Clasping your hands behind your head, ground down into the crown of your head as you walk your toes in towards your face. Stack your hips over your shoulder. Lift one leg and then the other until you're upside down. Ground down into the pinky edge side in your forearms as you stretch your toes towards the ceiling. engaging your bandhas until you're ready to return to the floor. Sit your hips back to your heels for a child's pose, wrapping your arms around the outsides of your legs to soften your shoulders and upper back. Inhale. Exhale. Return to your intention for your practice. Let go of fear. Let in love. Let in joy. Bring some movement back to your body when you're ready. Eventually finding Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Look forward and move towards the top of your mat, lengthening your spine on an inhale and folding on an exhale. We're going to do that whole sequence one more time, so when you're ready, chair pose with your right hand to your right hip. Side bend and twist, palms pressing together, or moving into side crow, Parshvabhakasana. Planting your hands just like crow pose or chaturanga, shifting your weight into your hands and your finger pads, maybe into your forehead if that helps you to lift up your toes. And then letting your feet find the floor when you're ready. Step your left foot back into your warrior one. Bring your right hand to your right hip and stretch your left arm up and over. Twist over your right shoulder, palms together, hands at heart center, or extend fingertips floor to ceiling. You can turn your top palm towards the front of the room and stretch your arm alongside your ear like side angle. Or again, when we're twisting arm balance, hands can plant to the floor and you can shift your weight into your upper arm. When you're finished playing with your arm balance, plant your feet. Straighten your right leg for pyramid pose. Bend into your right knee when you're ready, reversing your warrior on an inhale and floating hands to your floor on your exhale. Plant your hands and stretch your right leg back behind you, bending your right knee and stacking your right hip on top of your left. You can stay here. You can work to flip your dog this time, rotating around your shoulders, spinning fingertips to face your heels, and coming into Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing dog. When you're ready to unwind, be sure to unwind your left hand and shoulder as you stretch your right arm back behind you. Step your right foot forward and take off into your final half moon on this side. Stretch your left leg back behind you as you stretch your left arm to the sky. Or reach left hand for left foot for sugarcane pose, Chapasana. Release when you're ready, softening your knees and stepping back into your side angle. You can take a half bind or a full bind here, wrapping one arm around your low back and the other around your right thigh. If you want to move to one final balance challenge, look down towards your foot and hop your left foot up to meet your right. Shift your weight into your left foot and float your right toes up away from the floor, finding your balance until you can lengthen your right leg long. Bird of paradise. When you're ready, float your right foot back down to your mat, hop your left foot back into side angle. One more reverse warrior to stretch out your right side body and then float your hands to the floor, stepping forward into forward fold. Inhale, flatten your back. Exhale, fold. Final chair pose, Utkatasana, left hand to your left hip. Right arm reaches up and over into your side bend, or your final Parshvabhakasana, side crow. Maybe toes float up off of the floor on this side, maybe not. When you're ready, right foot steps back for warrior one. Bring your left hand to your left hip and stretch your right arm up and over for your twist. Palms can press together at heart center again, or one more time. Fingertips stretch floor to ceiling, or coming into your arm balance on this side. Parivrtta Ekapada Kundyanasana. Look down to the floor and plant your hands when you're ready. Fold over your left leg. Ground into your legs. Sweep your arms up for a reverse warrior on your inhale. Float your hands to the floor on an exhale. Stretch your left leg back behind you, bending your left knee and stacking your left hip on top of your right. Or flipping your dog if you're going there on this side, rotating around your shoulder, your wrists, and your hands. Planting your feet and energizing your legs in toward one another as you reach your heart forward and stretch your spine long. When you're ready to unwind, rotate your whole right shoulder and wrist as you stretch your left leg back behind you. Inhale. Float your left foot in between your hands on your exhale. Final Ardha Chandrasana. Peel your right hip open on top of your left as you stretch your right arm to the sky. Or bend your right knee and grab your right foot for sugar cane pose. Drop your head back, reach your heart forward. Soften your knees and gracefully step back to your side angle. Taking half bind or full bind if you're going there on this side, grasping hands behind your back. Or moving to Bird of Paradise one final time, looking forward. Hopping your right foot forward and then floating your left toes up away from the floor. Maybe coming all the way up to standing and extending your left leg long. And then floating your left foot back down to the floor when you're ready. Stepping your right foot back for side angle. Inhaling to rise up. Exhaling to float your hands to the floor. Step back to downward facing dog. Rock forward into your plank pose and lower down. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Press your hips to your heels for child's pose on an exhale. Great job. Breathe here. Ground yourself back into your breath. Back into your intention. Plant your right hand and stretch your left arm up to the sky for a twist. On an exhale, thread your left arm through. Come all the way down onto your left shoulder. Widening your knees and lifting your hips higher if you need to. You can keep your right hand planted or you can stretch it alongside your ear. Inhale. Exhale. When you're ready, plant your right hand back down onto your mat and stretch your left arm up to the sky. Placing your left hand down onto your mat, stretch your right arm up on an inhale. Thread the needle on your exhale. Come all the way down onto your right shoulder. Extend your left arm alongside your ear and breathe. When you're ready, place your left hand back down onto your mat. Extend your right arm up on an inhale. Float it back to your mat on your exhale. Wag your tail a few times, release your spine, and then press back to downward facing dog. When you're ready for half pigeon pose, draw your right knee to your right wrist, crossing your shin parallel to the front of your mat. Softening your foot, walking your hands back in line with your hips, lengthening your spine on an inhale, crawling your arms out in front of you on your exhale. If your forehead softens to your mat and your arms extend all the way out in front of you, you can take this into one final twist. Thread your left arm underneath your right and begin to roll onto your left shoulder. You can stay here, or you can extend your right arm up to the sky. Pausing here, we're reaching your right hand back for your left foot for one final quad stretch. Rolling toward your left shoulder to spin your heart up towards the ceiling, broadening across your collarbone. When you're ready to release, float your foot back down and stretch your right arm alongside your ear. Unwind your left arm to meet your right and soften your forehead back to your mat. Crawl your hands back underneath your shoulders and lift your torso. Tuck your back toes under and stretch your right leg to meet your left. Shake it out here for as long as you need, and then when you're ready, repeat on the left side. Drawing your left knee to your left wrist. Roll your right hip forward as you draw your left hip back. Crawling your hands back in line with your hips. Lengthening your spine on an inhale. Lowering your torso on an exhale. Your forehead and arms don't have to extend out in front of you. They don't have to soften all the way to your mat, but if they do, you can take one final twist from here. Threading your right arm underneath your left and resting on your right ear. Pausing here, extending your left arm up towards the ceiling to roll deeper towards your left shoulder, your right shoulder. Or stretching back to grab a hold of your right foot with your left hand. Rolling toward your right shoulder, toward your back, opening up your heart center. When you're ready to release, pull your foot back to your mat. Extend your left arm alongside your ear. Take a breath, and then unwind your right arm. Inhale, and as you exhale, slide your hands back underneath your shoulders, lifting your torso. Tuck your right toes under and stretch your left leg back to meet your right for one last Adho Mukha Svanasana. Rise up onto your toes, bend your knees, and float through to your seat. Taking a block with you for a supported bridge pose if you wish. Grab onto your shins and slowly lower yourself all the way down onto your back, allowing your feet to stay planted, walking your heels in towards your sits bones and wiggling your upper arms underneath your upper body. Possibly clasping hands behind your back as you peel your hips and spine away from the floor for bridge pose. See if you can make more space underneath you and then wiggle your arms a little bit closer together, broadening across your chest and opening up your upper back. When you're ready, release your arms and slowly roll vertebrae by vertebrae back down onto your back. Stretch your arms up overhead and gently rock your knees side to side. You're welcome to take another round of bridge pose or move toward wheel pose. Planting your hands and pressing first to the top of your head, drawing your shoulders down and back, and then pressing into your hands to lift your head up away from your mat. Ground into your feet, energize your legs in towards each other, and reach your heart forward. When you're ready to release, look up, and then again slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, lower onto your back. Reach your arms up overhead and rock your knees side to side. Work through your back bends a few more rounds here. Urdhva Dhanurasana with hands planted or bridge pose with your arms at your side. If you're ready for a supported bridge pose and have a block or a bolster to put underneath your hips, you can lift your hips up just high enough to slide it underneath and rest your tailbone right on that supportive block or bolster. Allow your palms to roll open towards the sky. Close your eyes. Breathe. When you're ready to release, press gently into your feet and lift your hips just high enough to release your block. Slowly lower all the way down onto your back. Reach your arms up overhead one final time and rock your knees side to side. Eventually, knees drop wide and the soles of your feet come together for Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, and feel your breath move. The expansion of your belly with every inhale, the softening with every exhale. Feel your heartbeat underneath your top hand. Being drawn once again back to your intention, your purpose for stepping onto your mat today. With every exhale, release fear. With every inhale, receive love. Receive joy. When you're ready to release, bring your hands to the outsides of your knees and draw your knees together, hugging your knees into your chest to lengthen your spine. Flex your feet, and then grab onto the outer edges of your feet, taking one knee to either side of your torso and the soles of your feet towards the ceiling for Happy Baby, Ananda Balasana. You can draw knees towards the floor to neutralize your hips and your spine, or you can gently rock side to side a few times. Giving one last stretch to your inner thighs and your hips. Hug your knees into your chest one final time, rolling your nose up to your knees. Take one final inhale, squeeze everything in. And then as you exhale, slide into your final resting pose of practice. One more inhale in through your nose. Exhale and let it out through your mouth. Allow, a poem by Dana Falls. There is no controlling life. Try corralling a lightning bolt containing a tornado. Dam a stream and it will create a new channel. Resist and the tide will sweep you off your feet. Allow, and grace will carry you to higher ground. The only safety lies in letting it all in. The wild and the weak, fear, fantasies, failures and success. When loss rips off the doors of the heart, or sadness veils vision with despair, practice becomes simply bearing the truth. In the choice to let go of your known way of being, the whole world is revealed to your new eyes. You're welcome to stay here resting for as long as you need. When you're ready, simply bring palms together, acknowledging your practice with gratitude. The light and the love within me bows to the light and the love within each of you. Namaste.